On to the company's second restaurant, Nikatatsu An, which serves a full menu. It also is a much more formal space and afforded me another opportunity for a beverage and cuisine pairing. There's no problem with that, as the sake selection here is impressive. More than 100 from which to choose, all from the Minakuchi Brewery.
経営がminakuchi酒造
Everything is regional because the owner of this restaurant is the only brewery in this region, Minakuchi Brewery. So everything we have is from the brewery.
As for the cuisine, it's regional and seasonal. They do daily lunch plates featuring a variety of local favorites. That's what they prepared for the camera, a selection of seasonal items paired with Minakuchi's Nikatatsu Dainajo, a special sake only available in the restaurant. A dry sake, it was perfect with the offerings, especially the ehime seafood. I had lunch here, and it was a very nice experience. Exactly what they like to hear.
すごく店内としては落ち着いて
I want them to say that they had a relaxed time here and also had good seasonal food, good seasonal sake. And I just want them to say they just had a good time.
Nikatatsu An, a restaurant where good food and good sake equals good times. Only 3 ingredients go into sake: water, yeast, and rice. Well, in the past, the northern portion of Japan had the reputation for producing the best quality rice for sake. But these days, in southern and southwestern Japan, in prefectures like here in Ehime, the quality of the rice is up, as is the production of sake. Back on the sake trail, it's time to start at the beginning. And with sake, the beginning is rice. I'm going to head to the sake brewery in just a minute, but first I thought it would be fun to learn about sake's primary ingredient, rice. For that, I was introduced to second-generation rice farmer Hiroshi Toda. Toda says the secret to producing high-quality rice is pretty simple.
Clean water and fertile land. Also good weather.
Toda uses a small tractor to harvest most of his rice, but he still does some the old-fashioned way, by hand. And believe me, it's not easy. Toda supplies some of the rice to his neighbor, the Seiro Shujo Sake Brewery. It's there every winter where the traditions are carried out and some of the world's finest sakes are made.
We started this business in 1877, and my ancestors started doing this business. I am the 6th generation. When I was little, I used to be familiar with sake, there was sake around me naturally. So I always wanted to do something related to sake business, and I still keep the mind carrying on.
Sudo works in the business with his 2 sons, so it's very much a family affair. He says his ancestors chose this region because of the quality of the rice and the water. Amazingly, for all of its complexity, as I mentioned earlier, there are but 3 ingredients in sake: rice, water, and yeast. Those ingredients yield an amazing array of sakes. As for the process of making sake, it is as steeped in history and tradition as any beverage in the world. For an explanation of that process, I turn to sake brewmaster Kazuki Orita.
We need rice to make sake, so we polish rice and we wash rice. And you soak the rice into water for a while, and after that you take all the water out. Then you steam rice for about an hour. You cool off the rice, then you make 2 different kinds of steamed rice called koji rice and mushi rice.
This is where the main process of making sake begins, with the koji being the most important element. The koji is made in a special room where the temperature and humidity are kept high. Koji mold spores are sprinkled on the rice, which is wrapped in cloth for a day to let the mold propagate. The following morning, the clumps of rice are spread out and put into special trays. After another day, the koji is removed from the trays and the brewmaster is finally ready to begin the brewing process. After adding a special yeast, the koji, along with steamed rice, is placed in a tank. During the first 4 days of fermentation, additional koji, steamed rice, and water are added. Over the next month, a transformation takes place. The koji will convert the starch in the rice to glucose, which the yeast will use to create alcohol and carbon dioxide. After roughly a month, the fermentation is complete, and the liquid and solid are separated.
はい、絞った後ですね、
After that, there's a kind you can ship out. You can make sake and ship out right away, or you can also mature them.
As for his finished sakes, Kudo exports them all over the world, including here in the U.S. He travels extensively, learning how and what people are eating, then adapting his sakes to match those tastes.
一番ですね、これが大切なことです。
We really contemplate on the matching of sake and cuisine, and we actually go to the places like San Francisco, Los Angeles, and New York to see what kind of cuisines they have there and what kind of sake, particular sake, go well with them. When we go there and taste them, and we come back here and we consult that with our brewer master on which particular sake will be good.
From light to full-bodied, dry to sweet, cold to hot, there is surely a sake from the Seiro Shujo for you.